Pathmark is the AI for website conversions. With increasing online competition, over 98% of website visitors don't convert. The ability to successfully show your value proposition and support visitors in the buying journey separates you from the competition online. Pathmark qualifies and converts leads on your website by figuring out where they are in the buying journey and influencing them in key decision moments with relevant micro experiences like case studies, intro videos, and much, much more. Stay relevant to your visitors and increase conversions by more than 50%. In 3 simple steps, add Pathmark to your website, let the artificial intelligence do all the work, and increase conversions by more than 50% while you keep doing marketing as usual. Check us out on pathmark.com. All right, welcome to today's episode. Let's talk about today's guest. We have Alex Bolan, Director of Sales and Marketing at DigitalThinker. DigitalThinker is the best-in-class management solution for tracking assets and digitalizing maintenance operations. Alex, good to have you here today. How's it going?
Good, Rick. Thanks for having me. Excited to be here, and very tickled that you reached out and we could do this today. So I'm thrilled, man.
Amazing. So I just talked briefly about DigitalThinker. So I want to hear it from you, right? So in your own words, what's the heart of what your company does? How would you describe it to someone new?
Sure. So let's imagine a workplace where confidence reigns. Uncertainty vanishes and teams are absolutely thriving. So we help companies that are in the manufacturing industry or asset intense industry achieve this vision and achieve operational excellence through the power of a product known as Hexagon's Enterprise Asset Management. And so that comes in through not only just effective asset management and consulting practices behind asset management, but rallying your entire team, company behind a centralized vision and paving the path forward to, again, operational excellence and creating certainty and confidence among every team member part of your company.
Okay, that sounds complex and quite impressive. So which type of businesses or industries do you feel you're able to serve the best? I guess more specifically, what's the core problem that you solve for them and what can they expect when they come to you?
Yeah, sure. So, I previously mentioned we serve really anybody. Manufacturing is, I say the catch-all, but we all know there's so many verticals inside of manufacturing. But that's not just the only piece. I'd call any company that is potentially asset intense. And what I mean by asset, whether they're physical pieces of equipment or even some people to a level that are generating revenue for your company, right? So that could be industries such as like forestry, turning lumber into wood products or paper, renewable energy, right? Utility services, food and beverage production, automotive supplier companies, pharmaceuticals, medical device manufacturing. I mean, that's just naming a few, right? But anybody that's trying to produce a tangible item usually has components that require some form of maintenance and management and overall confidence and reliability, right? So, what are some of, mention some of the problems or what can they expect from us, right? Well, we empower individuals and companies through technology to become very confident in how they're delivering their product, their confidence level that they're going to be able to meet their yearly yield or scheduled or planned yield, and that they're able to do it safely and reliably. And then ultimately, right, like that's going to help drive the profit margins at the end of the year, right? Like you're producing something, but how much does it cost you to produce something? Where are you overspending? And so we step in, assess the situation between maintenance, storeroom and inventory, operational aspects, physical asset management, and then empower you through technology such as Hexagon EAM to identify these choke points, these areas of, I don't want to quite say weakness, but where you're spending probably too much time, money, and resources. Let's create a process of efficiency, streamline the capabilities, and create, again, like a reliable model and a reliable asset program inside of your industry that can be bringing certainty to your day and then also provide a safe place for your people to work.
Right. Okay. Interesting. So it sounds to me like it's not just about maximizing revenue, let's say, but it's also as far as I understand, right, the productivity of the workforce, anything like that, that's also something that you would be able to help with.
Yeah, we can. Yeah, we can do that. And, it, again, I talked a little bit about like bringing in confidence and certainty, right? So let's take a step back and look at that. If you're a maintenance technician and your job day in and day out is fixing something, you're most likely thinking, and let's say it's a completely reactive form of maintenance, right? So these are a lot of companies. Not everybody's in a reactive form. There are quite a few that are in a proactive phase, right? But I feel like the most resonating compounding effect is being in a reactive phase, which means I'm not doing anything until this breaks. And you can relate that to your car, right? Like not all of us own vehicles, but a lot of us own vehicles, and it requires oil changes, tire rotation, and you want to keep this car healthy. Well, we need to kind of treat our assets like that too, right? We want to keep them healthy and reliable. So if you're that maintenance technician and you're getting ready to go fix something and it's reactive, A, you got a sense of urgency on you. B, you've got pressure from executive level all the way down on, we need to get this thing back up and running because we're losing revenue left and right. So you've just got this compounding pressure effect. Well, what if we could make their life easier by giving them a piece of technology, software, coupled with a device they can bring to the asset that has all the work order history, everything that's been done to this, that automatically has parts assigned from the storeroom and inventory associated to that work order. So now all they have to do is pull up their iPad. Oh, I'm going to go work on this pump and I need XYZ part. I go to the storeroom. It's already ready for me. I go to the asset. I know it's going to take me 30 minutes to fix it versus scrambling to be like, how am I going to fix this? I've never worked on this pump a day in my life. How long is this going to take me? And so that's where I mean by instilling confidence and optimizing, efficiency in your workforce is providing them with real-time data in front of their hand, like in their hands and in front of their faces, so they can make autonomous, good decisions to keep your industry moving and thriving in a good direction.
Well, that's powerful. I mean, let's pretend I'm someone in manufacturing, right? As you said.
Mm-hmm.
How would I typically find out about you? Like, and I guess that leads me to, second part would be, what are your top acquisition channels?
Yeah, sure. So I would say it's twofold, right? Like our audience finds us usually via referrals, people, colleagues among the industry, the age-old reliable piece, referrals, right? They find success with us and they maybe go to a conference or they talk to their friends and like, guys, we know this product and we know this team. It's great. Every asset management product out there is kind of the same. They all do a little bit of the same thing, but there's some that are different, right? But it's more about the person that does the journey with you. And I think that's where people really resonate with us. And then the other piece to it, honest to God, is Google searching. Just finding somebody searching asset management or Hexagon EAM or Hexagon EAM training, and they find us on Google, and then they, visit our website, interact with it, attend training. Any form of engagement from there usually comes from those two avenues.
Okay, fair enough. So lots of organic, right? Search, people typing in the right keywords, right? Ended up on your website. So on that note, how important is your website when it comes to attracting clients? Do you feel it has any standout strengths or maybe areas that could be improved also?
So I'd say our website is the most critical piece. It is, it's more important than a LinkedIn presence. It's more important than outbound email campaigns. It's funny, it's 2024, right? And the digital age of .com website started around 2000, late 90s. And of course it's evolved over time, but I think we come back to the central foundation that your website is the most important piece of your digital footprint that you can have. And so I'll be more than happy to talk to you about what we've learned we're doing wrong and what we think we're changing to do right. So,
well, that's where you start, right? You start,
right.
What's not working, and then reverse engineer it and make it work.
So I'll tell you, what you mentioned, what does Pathmonk do and how does that help? That hit me in my core. So we know we get I wouldn't say large. We get high traffic yields on our website for us that are huge. We're historically speaking, 50 to 100 visits a day in the last 3 months have turned in between 300 and 500. And then we've even had a week where we've had 1,000 a day. And that's like overwhelming. We're like, how do we even keep up with this kind of traffic? But the conversion yield, almost non-existent, right? Less than 1%. I'd even say less than 0.5%. And so if you're it's a numbers game at this point, if you're in sales and marketing, right? Like how are we having so little conversions when we're getting the spotlight's on it? It's here. Like, it's blindingly bright, but yet we can't communicate well with our audience. So that turned us, right, to look inwardly. What are we doing wrong? How are we not connecting with these people? What about this is happening? So that started an initiative to rebuild our website. But while we were laying that groundwork, we were introduced to a book called Building a Story Brand by Donald Miller. And to really give you the high level cliff notes, this book is simplifying your message. What he mentions in his book is anybody that requires intense calorie burning in the brain to understand what you do, you've lost them. They're gone, right? Because they got to think too hard about what it is you do and what services you offer. And that could be a mix of copy, navigation, unclear calls to action, anything, right? Like it's just boom, your website's here and they don't know what to do. So that's where we're changing things. We're rebuilding because we want to have a website that has a clearer message on copy, right? More concise, clear to the point with a very clear call to action. And I'm not talking about littering our website with call to action buttons left and right. I'm talking about clear imaging, clear messaging, 1 or 2 easy to find buttons to help you get where you need to go. And then the second piece, like I mentioned, is navigation. How easy can you find the information you're looking for when you visit our website? When people visit our website, usually they're looking for improvements with either Hexagon EAM or to buy it from us or something along those lines. But I don't know individually what they're looking for. I can't have the ability to read their mind, but what I can do is foster an environment where it's easy for you to find the information you're looking for in as little clicks as possible. That's part number 2. And then part number 3 is providing clear call to action, how to get in touch with us, whether it's phone call or email. And then the last piece is providing free how-to guide, just content that you can take today and turn it into actionable items to get your needle closer to the mark of success and winning for your job. Here at DigitalThinker, we're very proud of transparency, right? I think in the SaaS space, especially the B2B SaaS space, we try as an industry to hide cost. How do we do things? What's success look like? Because we want to get you in a meeting and we want to get you, booked and get you hooked in and let's say all the cool stuff. Let's stop that, guys. Why are we going through this song and dance when I can spend the same amount of time building you a brochure that can outline 4 actionable steps to get you in the right direction, and it takes the pressure off me and it takes the pressure off you. And then I know I got a little digressed on that, but then one other piece we're adding is we want to add some ROI calculators. We just added one to our website now on the mobile functionality of Hexagon EAM. How much money could you potentially save by introducing a mobile application to your team? And we loosely calculated this based off of time saved. So we know we can 99.9% guarantee that your people can save at minimum 15 minutes a day by utilizing the mobile application. Well, let's compound that based off of national standards of hourly wage, based off of days worked within a year. And that can tell you how much money you can save. So we got 3 easy sliders. How many maintenance technicians do you have? What's their hourly wage? About, we got a range. And then how many working days in a year do you have? And it spits out what your unrealized savings could be. And we've got a case study to back that up too. It's real, it's tangible. It's not just it's not fairy dust, man. It's actually real stuff. And so that's what makes me excited about redoing and rebranding not rebranding, but rebuilding our website,
Yeah, totally. Well, the Story Brand book is something I've read it years ago, and it's a great refresher. So thanks for that. Just going through the steps, right? And there's also something else that caught my attention. based on the last thing you said about the calculator, right? So you're actually selling to the most important currency. You're not, obviously there's a return for the time saved, and businesses care about their bottom line, and that's it. Understandable, but you're actually selling time back, and I think that's really powerful. So yeah. Now I'm more than curious to check it out and see how it works for you guys, because
it's fun. I play with it every day, mainly because I'm a little proud of it, right? Like, it's something we put together, and I was like, oh, I'm just so proud of this. But it's fun to tool around with. If you're looking for, like, you're right, if you're listening to this, go to DigitalThinker website. It's under a tab, I believe, that says mobile, and you click Hexagon EAM mobile. First thing you see.
Okay, will do. And so you mentioned this is obviously free for anyone to to check out.
Anybody.
Are there any other resources, materials, anything that your users might be able to come across and learn from when it comes to DigitalThinker?
Yeah, great question, Rick. So you talked a lot about transparency a little while ago, right? Especially on the selling cycle. Well, another pillar that we're standing on is providing free resources and training to individuals looking to improve their use and maximize their effectiveness within Hexagon EAM. So what does that look like? We have a training model called DTI Academy. DTI just stands for Digital Thinker Inc. We initially rolled that out as a paid service, right? Like, pay us $500 to attend this workshop, pay us X amount to attend this. And we saw there was quite a lot of interest, right? But where we saw the problem and potentially lack of revenue piece on that was the people that really need this training, the end user level, to maybe they don't have approval authority for purchasing, right? Maybe their budget's locked up and they can't spend, even if it's, we make it as cheap as $100. Maybe they can't even spend $100 for this kind of training. But this kind of training is very, very impactful, not only on the return on the company's investment on the software, but again, going back to that confidence piece of the user and them being able to do their job. If a maintenance technician can't easily open and close a work order, what's the likelihood that they're even going to adopt using a mobile application in the field to begin with? Zero, right? None. So let's take away those barriers. Let's empower these people. So it costs us a little bit, but it's more important for us on your investment to have free access to this type of training. So we host monthly at least 2 free webinars and 2 free workshops. Our workshops are limited space because they're like 3 hours long and they're very hands-on and very intense. But our webinars, anybody can join those webinars, and we're just here to provide you with ease of use. And then on top of that, we're building a very robust YouTube catalog of 3 to 5 minute how-to videos: how to open and close a work order, how to assign a part to a work order requisition, how to open a PO in EAM, how to use reliability-centered maintenance. That's actually a little bit more of just a 3-minute video. That's really like a really long conversation, but you get the gist, right? Like, we're putting a lot of videos out there that if you're knee-deep in the field and you need to answer a question and you don't have the resources, go to the Digital Thinker YouTube site. Guaranteed you'll find that video to help you get the job done.
Awesome. And it sounds like there's an opportunity to binge on it a little bit too, right? Because it's pretty short. Yeah. So
yeah.
Okay.
Very much so.
Very good. Very good. So let's switch gears a little bit and talk about you as a leader, right? So I'm curious to know what a day in the life is for Alex, right? What are the key tasks you focus on your day-to-day work?
Yeah. So, man, where to begin? So the standard, right? Every morning, wake up, I'm looking at analytics, which is time consuming, but important. So I'm looking at website traffic. I'm looking at any organic requests that have come in from the day previous, right? Like, who's messaged us, what are they looking for? And then more importantly, I'm looking at our deal pipeline and where are we in stages and how long are things taking, right? Everybody's perfect world is shortening sales cycles. As a leader, right, it's important to me because it's revenue in the door. And it's, for my sales team, it's commission on their paychecks. And then for my consulting team, it's utilization bonus on their paychecks as well. So like, the revenue piece is much more than just a company making money. We have an incentivization program for everybody here to, get a cut of the share, and all of that starts with sales and marketing. So I look at the analytics piece of it. And then the next thing I do, which is the most important piece, we have a daily meeting with sales and marketing. What do we need to get done today? And we start with what's the closest to the money, what is the most important thing we need to get done today, either as a group or as an individual. And then we work our way from there. We try to spend 15 to 20 minutes, not a lot of time, right? It took a little while on the front end of getting these meetings scheduled to identify the flow and the rhythm and what we got going on. But through the use of technology like HubSpot for our CRM, Lead Forensics for our website analytics campaigns, and then, of course, Microsoft SharePoint for everything else, we can quickly identify what's the most important thing, most important task we need to take care of today, and then ending that meeting with, well, what is going to benefit the big picture, the overall success, whether that's quarterly metrics, yearly metrics, do we need a new project coming in the door? Do we need to do more prospecting to get more new opportunities in the door? Or do we need to create more marketing material? Do we need, to brainstorm social media posts, things along those lines? And so we do that every day. And it's a little repetitive sometimes, but where we found power in that is we're now to the point to where we're kind of guys, we've got 2 things that are close to the money today, and now we have a lot of time left in our day to focus on the other infinite game items that you could think of, right? Like customer outreach, engagement with them, creating marketing materials. And so it's helped us control our day a lot better. The next piece behind that is, what I'm looking at every day is, part of the leadership team, I am looking at P&Ls, quarterly statements, monthly statements. I'm very in tune with the finances of our organization and how I can drive and impact that to a better form of success. So, and I think that's one thing I didn't know up front before becoming this type of leader was how involved I'm going to be outside of just sales and marketing with operations and company finances. So, that's kind of it in a nutshell. There's a lot more to it, right? But I don't want to get too deep into it. But those are the most important things, right? Is looking at those numbers and then, look at how I can move the needle closer to where we need it to be.
Right. While keeping a pulse on finances and how the business is actually operating, right? That's really important.
Yeah.
And, big responsibility, right? Yeah. Okay. Since we're coming to the end of the interview, let's jump into our rapid fire questions, right?
Okay.
So only short and crisp answers allowed. Are you ready?
Okay. Yeah, I'm here for it.
All right, let's do it. So what's the most recent book you picked up and why did it stick with you?
Ronald Miller, Building a Story Brand. This book has given me the ability to, all the previous material I've read, Sandler Sales, insert XYZ material has given me tools. I feel like this book has given me the ability to use those tools now. I no longer am questioning how to put the puzzle together. I know how to put the puzzle pieces together now.
Very good. If there were no limits with technology, what's one thing you love to solve that will make your life easier as a marketer?
I'd say some device that can see the images in my head and turn them into marketing material. I need an automated graphic design type AI component that can translate the images I see in my brain onto a piece of paper.
That's a good one. All right. So if you could automate one thing you find yourself doing over and over and over every day, what would it be?
Driving to the office. If I could teleport or get a super cool Tesla car that drives itself, man, that's 20 extra minutes to my day that I can really capitalize on.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
Right. So looking back, if you could give advice to yourself when you were first starting out as a marketer, right? Young Alex, what would that be?
I don't know how to give this in a short and crisp answer, so I'll do the best I can. Stop focusing on yourself. Stop focusing on what makes me great. And start focusing on how I can help my audience, my prospects, my customers. I think the one thing I've been consumed in trying to change in some of the way I think recently is that I focus a little too much on what makes me great and why you need me. And I'm not asking the question, how can I help? How can I be on your team? What can I do to make your life easier? And then tell or provide the answers to what they respond with. And I say that I'm naturally wired to avoid conflict, which is hilarious because I've been in the military for 10 plus years and I'm a very outward personality, right? But when conflict arises, my natural instinct is to put my head in the sand. And so a couple weeks ago, I had a handful of customers come to me that were just upset, and they rightfully were so upset. And I was filled with anxiety. But part of the book and part of learning how to rethink on some of this, I learned that I was too busy trying to focus on solving the immediate problem at hand versus asking them, A, why do you feel that way? And B, well, how can I help you succeed, man? Like, where are we falling short? Because I don't know. And so asking those two simple questions has created, I wouldn't say enemies, but it's turned conflict into great resolution. And if I would have known that 10 years ago, man, I would be a titan, God among men, right?
Yeah.
So that's
Well,
why I say myself.
even just by using that, serving first, being a servant leader, right? Thinking about others, that's spoken as a true leader. So, Alex, I want to thank you for being on the show with us today. As we wrap up, I want to give you the last word. So if someone forgets everything about the interview today, what's the one thing they should remember about your company?
One thing to remember about our company. We want to make your life easier, and we're a fun crowd. We're a family-owned company. My dad and I are veterans. We've got a couple other veterans on our team. We're people, and we take pride in helping people. That's the most important thing to us.
Perfect. We need to say no more. All right.
Right.
Thanks again, Alex.
Yeah.
Next time.
Thank you, Rick.